Hi. All right, welcome to Love and Marriage here on TV Sapiencia. Love and Marriage is that program where we talk about our relationships, how to make it work, singles, married, love, marriage. That is what we talk about every other time on Love and Marriage. My name is Oma. You're very sweetheart on radio and TV. I can't be alone on this program. I've got to be with Welcome. Freshest.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's good to be here.
Always good to be here with you.
Yeah.
You know one thing, let me just say this on live TV. There's something about you that I really love. Anytime I come around you, we do this program together, I always walk away with a new knowledge. I see things differently from a different perspective. Yeah. I see things, because we kind of share ideas. You share experiences, we share experiences, and we kind of learn, even as our viewers also are learning from what we're talking about.
Yeah, the truth is that when it comes to a program like this, sometimes some of the things we discuss, we don't actually know them.
Exactly.
You understand? It's when we are talking, just like maybe some of the things you're talking about, it's after you even finish talking about it that you now say, so this thing is like this, this thing is like this is how this thing should even be. So if you ask me, I'll just say that it's just the way God does his thing. I don't go out of this place empty-handed.
Yeah, and I'm so sure that all our viewers, everyone that keeps glued to this program, always walks away with something new. And just like what we are going to be discussing today on the program, if you've been following the social media space, you find out that
few days, couple of days,
two different people, two different guys actually were complaining. One of them,
no, the other one was
committed suicide.
This was tragic,
very
situation.
tragic, very
because
tragic.
Many of us had heartbreak, in fact terrible ones. Many of us faced what would have pushed us to do the same thing, but
off the cliff, but we held on to life.
We said no.
Yeah, we held on to life. Maybe we're going to come from a different angle. The need to hold on to life, no matter what. Because we have talked about heartbreak on this program. We've talked to singles, we've talked to married ones, how to handle heartbreak. And considering all that's happened within few days, you find out that there is need for us to keep having this conversation. Because people need to understand your life is precious, like your life is important. It's not just about that relationship. Away from that relationship, don't you have a vision? Don't you have a goal? There should be something. There should be a reason for you to be alive.
Apart from that, you see, somebody wrote a book and titled it "The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born." Yeah. Now, this person basically is not just talking about an individual. You understand? This person is talking about the fact that that thing you cherish that much, that thing you think you cannot do without, that thing you think that you can never have a thing like that. There may come a time where you will not even value that thing because there is something more precious.
Better. There's always a higher height.
And that must come. And we have had, even in these few years we spent here on earth, we have had experiences, we have seen things to say, yes, the beautiful ones are not yet born. For instance, those days, I'm sure you were here when the trend of phone came into this country.
Of course.
That time it was Nokia 3310.
Of course, 3310.
Many people were crazy
Everybody
about it.
wanted to have it.
You understand?
It was the latest, it was the in thing.
It was
way back 2000,
2001,
2002,
yeah,
2003,
2001, yeah, 2002.
Because of course, mobile phones, it came into Nigeria in 1999, right?
Yes. So but the phone became a little bit, in fact, ordinary people were not purely ordinary people.
It was luxury.
Yeah, it was luxury.
It was luxury to have a phone.
But that 2000, 2001, 2002, you can walk into a shop and buy it if you have the money.
If you have the money.
But that back then,
and that's so much money.
Like 1999, even if you have the money to buy it, Oh, it's difficult because
remember SIM cards. SIM cards was sold 23,000,
30,000,
30 something thousand, 33,000.
ITEL or something.
ITEL, is it ITEL? There were this
something.
Okay, Nitel was there before.
Nitel was had phone booths back then in UN. They had phone booths. You know, the phone booths.
We've come a long way. We've seen things though.
You know, gradually, SIM card, mobile phone.
And remember those days, a SIM card was sold for 33,000 naira,
yes.
34,000 naira, 35,000 naira.
And the Nokia that 310 was
a big phone.
I think it was about 40K. At that time, of course, 30,000 that time is bigger than 300,000 now.
I'm telling you.
You understand?
I'm telling you.
So a lot of people, in fact, a story of a young man that snatched the phone from Reverend Sister at Newi. That was the year 2002. So the sister was answering call. The guy snatched the phone. And so they're running. Unfortunately for him, these Okada guys has their terminal station, and he ran into them.
Wow!
And they saw him, so they caught him. They put him fuel. They set him on fire.
Wow!
That guy died then.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Just because he wanted to get 33.
If that guy was alive today, I'm sure he wouldn't be bold enough to even use that. But he would be using. Is there
still 33?
You understand?
If you
have that phone now, you won't want anybody to take it.
You won't even want someone to know that you have that phone.
You understand? So just look at that. What is it trying to say? For instance, I remember the story my mother told me then. I think it was back 1985. She talked about these Volkswagen cars. You know, that if it's coming, you see people waving. But today, who is driving that? Nobody's driving it.
Remember those days? It was Peugeot 406. In fact, I saw.
You know, it's for presidents, it's for very big people.
Where is it now? Where is it
talk
today?
about Volvo.
Then
talking about Mercedes
it transcended to, remember BlackBerry, when BlackBerry came.
Yeah, that was
BlackBerry.
Madness.
It was anybody that didn't have BlackBerry, you were not part of what's happening.
No, you are not big enough in the society.
Girls
who are crazy. Lots of girls lost their lives just to have
a BlackBerry phone.
In fact, good morning turned to, can I have your PIN? What is your PIN?
Your PIN number.
Nobody's talking about PIN again.
Oh my goodness.
You understand? Remember Dish. You know how this satellite has to be very big. You see a vehicle coming to offload it in one big man's compound. Maybe in a community, only one person
has it.
But look at it. In a compound now.
Everybody, almost everyone. There are different
and
different
you don't
providers.
need to buy very big one.
Not at all.
You understand? So
who even uses Dish now? Isn't
I remember when we used to, myself, my parents, my mother, my siblings, we'll go to people's compound to watch black and white TV.
Obviously.
Or watch television and bondage.
And do you remember those days? Do you remember those days when you have to wait till 4:30 for TV stations to start in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Hi.
And you hear boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom. So actually, I'm telling you. But where are we now?
So that is to
you can actually watch TV 24/7. Like watch different channels, watch different things.
That's to tell you that whatever comes your way will pass.
Will definitely.
That girl, you think that if you don't marry, you can't make headway. A few years, if you see her, you won't even want her around you. A few years, if you see her, you'll be wondering what were you thinking? Yeah. What was in your head then? Because if you have the grace and the mercy of God and you're close to God, you marry someone else
better.
Better.
At
the end of the day, you may be telling yourself, so what actually made me almost kill myself because of this person?
Okay, just look at this guy that killed himself, committed suicide, left a suicide note simply because someone
left him after he had trained the
person in the university. And there was this other picture that trended about the guy that's after training a girl, the girl still left him
for another guy. And it happened just within a space of 7 days. I think all of them happened within a space of 5 days.
5 days thereabouts.
You know.
And it's that's why we're having this conversation all over again. You know, because I think the point that really got me is the fact that someone had to commit suicide, that someone had to lose his life. You know, today is a man, tomorrow it could be a woman. It's both genders. Now, how can people be strong enough to hold it in? I know, I'm not trying to blame, you know, a dead man doesn't talk. I'm not trying to blame a dead person because the person is already dead and gone. There could have been something that's led him, that pushed him off the cliff.
But we'll have to talk about it because the lessons will help someone else not to do the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. You know, definitely.
When I had that experience, I told myself the best thing to do is to talk. Those who want to listen to you, those who don't want to listen to you, talk to them. You understand? Because the people who commit suicide in this kind of situation are people who dare not talk about their situation.
Talk about it, right?
They don't like talking about it. You understand? I think if you were close to me or if you were here with me when I had heartbreak, I was telling people that I'm lying. I just enter your office and tell you, I don't know if you understand. Nobody
I didn't know that thing was serious until one day we were having a meeting and Lillian was explaining how you said it. She was explaining what you said. I was like, that was what I said. That this thing was actually serious.
So now look at that. That was the expression. Why I was expressing is some things you are leaving me.
Yeah.
I don't know, some of the burdens.
We're going away from you.
People may be laughing.
Yeah.
You understand?
Because it was funny the way you say it.
Yeah, people may be laughing, but it's serious.
Yeah.
And expressing it was helping a lot.
Okay.
Because if all the pain, if I had to gather them right in here, you know, just gather them. And if I commit suicide, people will be wondering, what happened? Is it because of that girl? Who is that girl? Why must Freshman do this? But I was heartbroken. You understand? And the only way to let it go is to talk. Even though I was talking to some people who do not understand
you.
But their laugh, their reaction. Personally, I have the idea that they don't understand.
Okay.
You understand? They don't understand because for them, it's comic.
It's comical, yeah. Even now that you're talking about it, it was just funny.
Yeah. It may sound funny, but I am healing.
Okay.
It's a healing process.
Okay.
Because if I have to, because then I don't sit down one place.
Really?
If I see you, I start talking to you. I start telling you what I have gone through and what I'm going through. If I sit down one place and start talking about it, devil will start speaking to me.
Yeah.
Because devil hardly affects a man that is active. It's when you're not active that devil comes.
True.
If you're active, you're busy. That's why sometimes you see people saying that.
You know, the idle mind is the devil's workshop.
You understand? So if you're busy, you're active, devil won't have opportunity to come and start talking to me when I'm now telling you, person, I'm just explaining to you, look at what I'm going through. You mustn't advise me.
Yeah.
But, you know, when there is this power, there is power that comes with speech, with talking.
Yeah.
When you are talking about it, you are pushing out something. You know, that was it. So, but the case of this young man who killed himself, he looked at so many things, how far he has gone with the lady, how much he has spent.
But honestly, Fresh, tell me, you're a man. What is that thing? What is that thing? What is that thing that will make a guy to forget that he has a life?
Yeah, the thing is...
Relax.
Okay.
To forget that he has a life, that he has a mission on earth, that there should be a vision, that there are people, he has family members. Before that girl came into his life, there were family members who raised him.
Yes.
There were people who were his family members. He's not even married to this girl in the first place.
Not at all.
So what is that thing that will push a man to go and commit suicide simply because... I don't want to belittle it because I don't know what he went through. Just because the girl he trained in the university left him.
Okay, now, Omar, do you know that if these two people, it is possible that if these two people had married, they would have actually had a broken marriage, that the man would even say, go, I don't want
you. True, it's possible. Very, very possible.
I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
Do you know that if they had married, that the man may even be the one to say, get out of my house, I don't want you. You understand? So now, people who, that guy's situation, look at what I would say happened. Good guys find themselves in this kind of situation most times.
Okay.
Now they say he's a pastor. If you are not into women, you're not a woman kind of guy, and you are, let me use the word, not necessarily a womanizer, you're not a guy man, because some of us, me, I'm a guy man.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Woman matter cannot really conquer me. I will feel the pain, but it won't conquer me.
Yeah.
Because I know I can quickly talk to someone else. I can go on my social media platform and chat somebody. I can call someone else on phone. I can meet another girl and start afresh and still build something. But there are guys that the way that guy even entered his life, he can't explain. So he doesn't even have the ratio, he doesn't have the courage to even talk to another. It took him years to even, maybe he didn't even open his mouth. He was just showing that he's a pastor. And there are these people, they are so spiritual that they consider some of these things as sin. You know, walking up to a lady to say, I like you. So what they do is they just keep showing sign with the lady picked, and they started dating. So now this guy must have thought of, how on earth is he going to start all over again? And if you check very well, if this guy was alive now, you will discover that he has never been in any relationship before. He has never had a heartbreak before. He has never had a broken relationship before. He probably has never had anything to do with a woman before. So this one, because of the vibes he's getting, is just special and is different, and is the only one that gives him this vibe. So he thinks that it's impossible for someone else to come around and do the same thing. And this is his source of happiness. He felt it as closed, and then he now felt, what is life without this person?
Maybe like I said, I don't want to blame a dead person, but if you try to analyze this whole thing, you find out there is something that's not adding up. That someone is a pastor does not mean that the person, growing up, a lot of young ladies, there's this thing about pastors that they always like. Reverends, pastors, a lot of young ladies always have a way of flocking themselves around pastors. Like, they want to get married to a reverend. They want to be, for my background, I'm from Anglican. So a lot of young ladies, they always want to be an auctora. That position, that leadership position of the wife of the pastor. All right. So for this guy to consider, okay, you just said he's a pastor, looking at the fact that, thinking in his head that he can't continue with life because a girl left him, then I'm choosing my words. I'm actually choosing my words right now.
Another thing,
because the devil has only come to kill, to steal, and to destroy.
Yeah, in as much as you keep saying you don't have to blame the guy, well, he took a wrong action. That action can be blamed,
he did.
Yeah, the fact there is, and that thing you need to understand is that even as a pastor, he should know that suicide is no.
It's a no.
You understand?
And again, as a pastor, your calling is Christ. The first thing you do. In fact, all of us that are Christians, our calling is Christ, to preach Christ, to bring the righteousness of Christ to the world, to tell everybody, to make sure that everybody all over the world hears the message of Christ. That is our calling as a Christian. So as a Christian, that is your number one calling. That is why you are alive. So you cannot just leave that any other thing is just an additional, right?
So you know that there are people that if you mistakenly entangle yourself with, they possess you spiritually.
That's true. That's true.
You do things you don't want to do.
Yeah. Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And sometimes because of the fact that the kind of earthly position you find yourself, how can a pastor now start confessing that, look, I am doing this kind of thing? Instead of confessing, let me keep it to myself. And the devil will be giving you options.
Yes. Yes.
You start seeing options from the enemy.
Yes. Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So
I think that's actually what happened.
So sometimes it's just when somebody, because when you allow your spiritual life to be captured by the enemy, and the fastest way to capture the spiritual life of a man is through a woman.
Yeah.
Through the sin of immorality, through fornication and adultery. You understand? So when a man is captured, sometimes some things happen deep down. That man did not actually do that thing.
Yeah.
A spirit entered him.
Exactly. I believe
and
so.
This spirit must have been the spirit that had been trying to destroy him. The spirit must have made an attempt in so many ways without succeeding. And then the spirit, because nothing weakens a man like the presence of a woman who is not spiritual like the man. And the woman is not your wife. When you start having carnal knowledge of that woman, praying becomes difficult or impossible.
Yeah.
Fasting becomes a waste of time.
Yeah.
You don't even talk about it again. Now come to think of studying the Word of God. And the situation where you aren't, by the time the person start doing it, the person will now, and because of your position as a pastor, are you going to go to another pastor to confess? Are you going to, but if you are not, for instance, you are a Christian, you have sinned against God, and you don't know what to do, you can easily tell somebody. Like me now, I can easily tell somebody. That person may judge me, but the person won't judge me much. But assuming that I'm a pastor, I'm pastoring a church, and I have done something like that, it will be difficult for me to come and I'll come out and tell someone. What if I tell the person and the person was jealous before that time, I decided to tell my members? You understand? And people will now say, so this pastor is even doing contrary to what he's preaching.
He's preaching. You know, sometimes it's not just only the pastors, even ordinary individuals. Apart from this case scenario that happened, there's been other cases where ordinary individuals, they have a heartbreak. The next thing they want to do is to commit suicide. Yes. A lady, not really, I don't like using the word dump. A lady leaves a relationship. The only thing, the next thing on her head is, let me just end it. There's no need to be alive.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. The thing there is that, number one, let me tell you something. The Bible said that when a man and a woman become husband and wife, when they start meeting each other sexually, because marriage starts with sexual meeting between husband and wife. That is when spiritually they become one. Now, that process, the Bible describes it as fresh, joining fresh to become one. And when you see this, my fresh now, meeting the fresh inside, if you use sharp object to cut off this fresh, now I will feel pain. I cannot necessarily use my hand to cut it off. Now, if peradventure this surface now, if peradventure forcefully is cut off, the pain may become so unbearable. So now when two young people are engaging in sexual intercourse and one person pulls out, it's like using sharp objects to cut off the person's flesh. And by the time that person's flesh is cut off, some people can bear the pain and move on or find solution, while some people may decide that they cannot bear the pain. What do they do? They end it up at that point. You understand? So lots of young people, another one, it becomes, like I said before, it becomes spiritual. You know, lost in intimacy can become so spiritual that you start thinking that you cannot do without this person. you start glorifying this person even more than the God you serve. You start seeing this person as an idol. That as soon as the person leaves your life, you can no longer function. But it shouldn't be like that.
Exactly.
This is not the way it should be.
Not at all.
You understand?
Not at all.
The fact that that person came into your life, it's either there is a reason behind it.
It is there's always a reason.
Yes.
Things that I think that people should learn how to learn from a situation. If anything happens, pick the lessons. Our lives is like this. It's going up like this. It's always a learning curve. At every phase, at every situation, what are you learning? What are you picking from that thing? What lessons are you picking from it? Because it is high time men and women, young people, married people, start seeing life as a lesson, like a stage where you come, you act your own role. And in acting your own role, understanding that you're not here by accident. People should learn to understand that they are not an accident, because if you understand that you're not an accident, you will carry yourself. You know that you have a mission. Because it doesn't make sense for me that somebody, you have a broken relationship. The next thing, the only thing you're thinking about is suicide.
That is the worst.
It is the worst thing you can do. Now let's look at suicide. Why? How do I put this thing right now? How can people stop themselves from attempting or thinking about suicide? Especially when they are heartbroken, when they feel, because to me, it may not be a heartbreak. As a matter of fact, if someone comes to me and tells me, somebody left me, I will be like, have you said thank you to Jesus? Say thank you, Lord. Do you know what God pushed away from you?
Yeah, correct.
Why? Because there could be something you should understand. People should understand. You sleep and you wake up. You're not the one sleeping. I mean, you're not the one in charge.
No, you're not.
There is a higher power. Because life is spiritual.
There are people that you need, but God doesn't want them for you.
For you, in your life.
You understand?
In your life.
God sees beyond human. And He knows that if this person comes into your life,
that person will destroy your life for you. So something will happen, and He will just remove that person from your life. So don't think that, oh, this person has gone out of my life, I cannot live again, I have to end it all up.
You see, suicide, people don't just commit suicide. They take their time.
Yeah.
First and foremost, the person becomes depressed about the situation.
Yeah.
And there is no one to talk to concerning the depression. From depression, the person becomes frustrated. When that person becomes frustrated, the person now starts seeing life as
meaningless.
What is life?
Well, there is nothing in life again.
At that point of frustration, the person becomes rejected and dejected. The person starts rejecting himself. When he have, what is this life?
And all these things, it takes time.
Yeah,
it doesn't just happen.
No, it doesn't just happen. It's building in the mind.
Yes, it takes time.
This same person, that's why you'll be wondering, you just finished talking with somebody today in the evening, and in the morning you're hearing the person committed suicide.
Yeah.
Every human being has two different people that individuals carry about. There is this inner person that you don't meet physically. Is this physical person that can express to an extent for you to really know about this other person. And when people are in this kind of situation, that's why it is always good to reach out. Reach out to people.
True.
If somebody had reached out to that young man, he wouldn't have killed himself. If somebody had called him to say, I've not heard from you for some time. What is the problem? Can we see and talk face to face? Maybe he would have opened up and said, the guy I trained in the university left me. And that person said, okay, let's talk about it. And the person invites him over and say, okay, why don't you spend a weekend in my house? Can't we read the Bible together? Can't we study the word together? By so doing, you are distracting this person.
Yeah.
That spirit will not have upper hand.
Upper hand in the person's life.
You understand? You're distracting this person from that spirit. But when people are in this kind of situation, they live alone. They stay alone. Therefore, has all the time.
And they don't even have friends. They don't socialize. They don't have any place where they go out and just see other people.
And that place they stay alone is the place where this person who left them used to be with them.
Yeah, true.
So this person used to fill the whole place.
And all of a
they
sudden,
enter the room, it's empty. They enter the sitting room, it's empty. There is nobody in the kitchen. There's nobody in the bathroom. There's nobody anywhere. Their phone is dead because this is the only person that calls them on phone. This is the only person they chat with because they choose to be faithful to this person. But all of a sudden,
the person is no longer there.
Says, "No, I have found someone else," and I feel like God has forsaken them. God didn't forsake you.
Not at all.
It's mad.
Not at all.
Because when people leave you, they're not leaving you because you're a bad person. They may not be a bad person too.
True, yeah.
They are leaving you because their time and position in your life has expired.
Has expired and ended. It's not about you. It does not mean that you're the wrong person. I always tell people this, young people, especially singles, and even married people. If you're in a relationship with someone and something happens and it does not continue, it does not make you a bad person.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't even make the other person a bad person. The only thing is that the person's time in your life
has
ended.
That is the natural thing. See, let me tell you something.
And you need to move on.
You need to move on.
Because your whole life is ahead of you.
One thing about human is that you are open to new things and new friends and new people.
True.
If you change, if people walk away, there are people looking for where to walk in.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you move to another environment,
if you move to another environment,
new people.
Like, for instance, Ahek resigned, Ahek left us here. You won't tell me that up till now that he hasn't gotten one or two friends.
It's not possible now.
I don't know if you understand. He must have gotten one or two friends that he is talking with, that he's hanging out with. And those ones he left in Onitsha here, there are people in Onitsha they are talking with, they are hanging out with. Life continues. Are you going to say because all the people in Onitsha you have left them, therefore you are now empty, there is no one?
No, not at all.
You're moving into a new environment.
Exactly.
Or someone is walking out of your life, that person is just creating a vacuum
for other people
where somebody else would have entered, but that person has been an obstacle. That person has been the padlock, but the person has eventually opened the door, and the door is now open. What are you supposed to do? You allow someone else,
other people to come in,
to enter, so that you can even explore.
Exactly.
Because nobody has it all.
At all.
You understand?
Not at all.
No one is perfect. No one has it all.
Not at all.
Fine, you must have loved this baby because she has a beautiful face. The next person coming may have the most beautiful legs.
True.
There are things that get guys crazy in a woman's body. And no woman has all of them. And no woman that doesn't have any.
There is always something to
You understand?
love.
There's something unique. It could just be her voice. It could just be the way she looks at you. But the thing is that you won't find out this thing if you don't give her a chance.
True.
You won't find out this thing if she's far from you.
And you know, we're not just focusing on the guys. Even though what we're talking about happened to a
guy. Happened to two guys.
We are focusing on both genders.
Yes.
Because even the way it is with the guys, there are still some
worse
girls
with
the ladies.
When a lady is nurturing heartbreak, it is like two countries fighting. She's fighting against herself. Two countries fighting war. Most ladies, the what they do is they just get somebody, even somebody they have rejected, to just be with, to help them.
To help them.
Some of them, that is what they do. That's why sometimes you see a lady dating a guy because she's nurturing heartbreak. She's using that guy to heal.
To heal.
As soon as she discovers she has received her healing, she will end the relationship. and this other guy will start saying somebody broke my heart.
Broke his heart. And it will
without knowing that he was just used for a healing.
For healing.
You understand? So that was what happened. Some go back to their home. They stop eating. They stop moving with their friends.
True.
They stop taking their baths.
I think I've shared with you a friend of mine who was, according to her, she felt she was heartbroken. You know, she wrote something on her status and I replied. I wanted to find out more and we got talking. And she said she was telling me, in fact, in her head, she was heartbroken. But after talking with me, I told her, oh girl, you're not heartbroken. God actually removed this guy from your life. She was like, oh ma, wait, but we were talking marriage. I said, which marriage? How can you marry someone that is not interested in you? Someone that is intimidated by you? Someone that does not want you to succeed? Because this girl, she works with NGOs, all right? She's always traveling, you know, and this guy is just in her life just to find out her next move. And I was telling her, this guy is just in your life to find your next move. Okay, she faked it that she was, not that she faked it anyways. She felt she was pregnant and she told the guy that she was pregnant. And the guy stopped picking her calls.
That would have been the best time to walk away.
She did walk away.
Sure.
I told her, oh girl, you're bigger than this. You need to take the door.
She had to go.
Hit the door. This guy does not like you, does not want the best for you. And the earlier, the better for you right now. She was like, oh ma. She said she stopped eating. That she stopped eating. She couldn't sleep. She started taking sleeping pills. I said, really? Do you know you're hurting yourself?
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
I said, how can you? I said, a guy that you don't even know his origin. You just met him. Is having this kind of effect on you. I said no.
I think another thing, someone who is facing this kind of trouble, another thing one can do is, instead of focusing on the good things and good traits, good qualities of that person, you focus on the bad ones.
Right? Yeah. True.
Focus on the bad ones.
True. And ask yourself, is it even possible for me to? How can I live with this kind of quality? Is it even worth it? Yeah. Is this person actually worth my stress? Everything?
You focus on bad things. You just wave her aside.
True.
She uses the water system. She doesn't flush it. She's the kind of person I'm gonna steal.
Yeah.
She doesn't clean the house very well.
Yeah.
I don't like her food. Just managing to eat her food.
And when you tell yourself these things, you know, when you tell yourself these things,
you'll get better.
Yeah, you find out that true, you couldn't have stayed with this person. It's not like you're trying to build hatred. You're not building hatred, but you're just reminding yourself the things that you were condoning and tolerating. Simply because you felt you wanted love.
You wanted true love. You don't want to hurt somebody.
To be with
but the person ended up walking away. Then give her the red card with those qualities.
And still have your life.
You understand? After it wouldn't have even worked, but you just had to comport yourself and see what you could do. And this is how it ended.
And again, there are certain people who, when they get rejected in a relationship, when they get heartbroken, they resort to trying to hurt that person. I think that's a no-no.
Yeah, lots of people do that.
That's a no-no.
So many people do that.
That's a no-no. When a relationship does not work, there is absolutely no need for you to hurt that person. I think the best thing for you to do is to walk away. In fact, forget that person ever came into your life. And then
make yourself a better person.
A better person, so that the next person that comes into your life.
2 years from now, the person can look at you, look at the family you've been able to build.
And will be we'll be wondering, why did I even leave this person in the first place? I think, in fact, I've always believed that the best form of revenge is to succeed.
As to succeed.
If you want to revenge anything, if somebody hurts you, somebody offends you, and you want to revenge, the best form of revenge is to succeed.
Succeed.
Forget that person. Forget that person ever existed in your life. Focus on your future.
Listen, when somebody, let me use the word dump. When somebody breaks your heart, when somebody dumps you, the first move you need to make is you meet with the person and find out if the person truly want to go.
To be sure, right?
Yeah.
To be doubly sure.
When you discover the person truly want to go, the best thing is to let the person know that if you go, you're not coming back. Because there are people who walk away and they try some other guys or they try some other ladies and discover
it's not working.
They want to come back to you. Maybe by then you are already in a relationship. You can talk about it. Hope you don't have plans of coming back. You're not coming back. As soon as you finish that discussion and that person is not coming back, you pretend the person is late. The person died. Let's assume that this guy who committed suicide, if that lady had died, would he have committed suicide? He wouldn't.
And this lady, and the lady that he committed suicide for is already living her life.
She has a man.
And she wouldn't even bother.
She can pretend to cry.
She wouldn't even bother.
That her man will be the one consoling her. That's one bad thing about heartbreak. You're leaving your heart with the same person who broke it. How are you leaving your heart with a person? You don't want to eat. But the person who broke your heart is feeding another man. He's feeding another
and enjoying herself or himself.
You don't want to bath. But the person who broke your heart is bathing with another man.
And making sure that he or she looks so nice for the next person.
You don't want, you can't sleep. But that person is making another woman to sleep. And that woman is sleeping in his arm. But you they broke your heart too. They don't want to sleep. So all these things, they happen in the mind. And it's your ability to control and conquer your mind that will help you either come out of it or sleep in there.
But the truth of the matter is, young people, married people, they need to figure out a way. Now, what ways? Because I believe that the first step is self-love. You know, when you love yourself, it's not about being selfish, but when you love yourself, when you respect yourself, when you understand that you have a mission and a vision on earth, you're going to be more careful with yourself. You'll be more careful with your association. You'll be more careful with the people you associate yourself with, the people that you call friends. And your heart, you're going to protect it to ensure that people don't mess up with you. But peradventure, people messes it up. Like that people tries to step on you. You just have to figure out a way to save yourself.
Yeah, you're correct. And another thing I would say is that if a vehicle hits somebody or somebody had an accident in a car, you will not say because you had an accident in a car that another car won't take you to hospital.
True.
You won't say no, you will not enter car to hospital because it's car that hit you. There are people, when somebody breaks their heart, they conclude that all men are the same. All women are the same. They close their heart to everybody. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
But Oma, then, what about these two guys? One is alive, one is late. The both of them trained these ladies in the university. This idea of training people in the university, training women in the university and getting dumped by them.
You know, I think we've talked about it on this program and we can never stop talking about it. And the last time we talked about it, we said that it's very important when you want to train a woman, first of all, get married to her.
Marry her, train her as your
Marry
wife.
her and train her
Even
as
some
your
people,
wife.
some people, even after marrying her, they will make sure at least she has given them diploma. Diploma is a child.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, diploma is pregnant.
Marry her.
Degree is a child.
Marry her. Then train her.
A woman sent her daughter to, I went to buy something in a shop. And the woman keeps calling the boy diploma. Diploma, so the woman said, Kizzy, why are you calling this boy diploma? I said, Nyawa, a papa, mamia, her husband, has sent her to school. You made diploma and certificate.
Oh my goodness.
Certificate.
Oh my goodness.
You understand? So yeah, training people, it's good. If you want to do charity.
Do charity.
If you want to support somebody.
Support somebody.
If you want to be a good guy.
Be a good guy.
But when there's agreement, I'm doing this because I want to marry you.
Marry her. Marry her first. In fact, I support that too. As a woman, I support that too.
When girls enter into the university, they change.
Yes.
When girls enter into the university, they become wild.
Yes. And again, people should
meet more people.
Fresh air. People should understand that there are lots of charitable organizations. There are lots of organizations that do charity. And they just do this charity and they forget that they've done charity. So if you're doing charity for somebody, who do charity? You do charity and you forget that you've done charity.
Don't do it with the intention. Because sometimes these guys, they don't even tell the girl, I'm doing this because I want to marry you. Maybe they are just dating. And that thing is, don't prepare a woman without preparing yourself.
Yeah.
You're training someone in the university. You didn't go to university. You're not making efforts. You're raising her standard.
And you're not raising your own
You're not raising your own.
And actually...
By the time she look back, you're far away from her.
True. And not all women. In fact, there was this, as I'm saying this and I'm having goosebumps, there was this particular video I saw on Facebook. A young girl, I think it was her husband that trained her. But her husband is a marketer, a trader in the market. So she came back from youth service. And she just did this very beautiful video that she was dancing, praising God, celebrating, and she was just saluting the husband. I think the husband is a shy kind of a person. The husband was just standing there looking at her. She was just saluting the husband, saying in that video that it was the husband that made her who she is. I don't know whether the husband went to school or not, but one thing I know is that the husband is a trader.
In as much as there are people who disappoint, but there are more people who did not disappoint. Yeah, I have to be honest with you.
True.
There are more people that their boyfriends trained in the school that they got married to them. There are more people that illiterates trained and they got married to them. It's just that, this marriage thing is like aeroplane. As I'm speaking to you now, flights are moving in different airports.
True.
But if one crashes,
we'll hear it.
To go all around the whole world.
We'll hear it.
So that is it. I think we no longer have 8 minutes to 8 minutes to go.
So we need to wrap it up quickly. And the truth of the matter is this. First of all, from me, I would say, as a young lady, as a young man, kindly understand the reasons why you're on earth. You're on earth to achieve a purpose. First of all, self-love. Understand who you are and what you are here to do. Don't ever allow anyone to push you off the cliff to the extent of not loving yourself, to the extent of thinking that your whole life depends on him or her. Without them, you can still succeed. Without them, you can still become an amazing person. Your life is important. Your life is precious. And again, as a young man, when you want to marry somebody, marry that person and train her. Please, if you don't marry her and train her, consider it that you're doing charity. And when she decides she wants to get married to you, it is now her decision. All right? But as a young lady, please, if you know that you're not ready to settle with a man, don't lead him on. Don't lead him on. There are certain things that we do. It will wait for us in the future. There are repercussions. I think that's it for me. Fresh.
Okay. You were there before they met you or before you meet them. When they leave, you should be there too. Don't leave the world because somebody left you.
True.
Because you were in the world when this person met you or when you meet the person. Don't reject yourself because somebody rejected you.
True.
There are people who come into your life and walk away. Let them walk.
Yeah.
They're not walking away because you're a bad person. They are walking away because their time in your life has come to an end.
True.
And that brings another opening, another stage of your life. If you handle it well, a few years later, you will thank God for what happened. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Love and Marriage. Freshman, it's always been an amazing time having you here with me on Love and Marriage. I am Oma. You're very sweet on radio and TV. I love you.
My name is Freshman. Wishing you a very wonderful night rest. We'll see you next week, Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.